Hi there, it's Todd Smith, your member of Provincial Parliament for the Bay of Quinte and Ontario's Minister of Energy, and I'm back with another COVID-19 update for the Bay of Quinte region. Well, there's still some cases of COVID-19 in the area, about 40 active cases or so. The numbers are staying pretty steady right across Ontario at about 600 or 700. And that's good news because there's not a lot of people in our intensive care units right now. We're able to get the work done to ensure we know where the cases are coming from with contact tracing and those types of measures. And unlike a lot of jurisdictions across Canada and around the world, we're touching wood as we say this, but we're not seeing the spike that we're seeing in other areas. Vaccination rates are continuing to rise right across our region and across Ontario as well. We're at about 86% with at least one dose, and up to just over 80% fully vaccinated. And of course, we've started to inject those in long-term care facilities and other high-risk individuals with a booster shot. So a third shot of vaccine to ensure that they're well protected through the winter period as we start to move inside. As mentioned, the public health measures that we've kept in place throughout the summer really seem to have made a difference in allowing us to clear intensive care units, to get those patients out of our hospitals and to free up the space there. And other jurisdictions haven't been so lucky. They dropped their public health measures early in the summer, and they're seeing a real crisis when it comes to healthcare in their region. Queen's Park resumed sitting today after the summer break, and we did have a throne speech as there was a short prorogation in there as well. So the Lieutenant Governor, Elizabeth Dowdeswell, delivered the speech from the throne early today. This is Monday as I'm coming to you now. And it was a speech that included a look back on all of the measures that have been taken to ensure that we're protecting people in the province of Ontario when it comes to funding for healthcare, for long-term care, for vaccines and all of the clinics and public health measures that are in place, but also a lot of supports there for education as our young people are returning back to school and are now fully involved in the school year again, and funding for small businesses as well to help them get through a very difficult time. We definitely had put the money there. Our deficit for this year is about $32 billion, and we'll be looking to hack into that deficit over the coming years to get us back on our path to balance here in Ontario. But priority right now is to protect public health and ensure that the people of Ontario are safe and that our economy continues to roll. As a matter of fact, one of the themes of today's throne speech delivered by the Lieutenant Governor was preventing lockdowns at all costs. And that is the ultimate goal right now. Of course, we saw a number of different times where businesses were locked down throughout 2020 and 2021, and we want to prevent that at all costs. That's why we brought in programs like the vaccine certificate, which is now required when you go into a restaurant or a gym or other high-risk settings. You need now to provide your proof of vaccination. And if anybody is having difficulty in printing off their proof of vaccination, you can get help doing that at Service Ontario, at your public libraries as well. They've been instructed to help individuals print off their certification, or you can come to my office in Rossmore, make an appointment, and we can print off that proof of vaccination for you. You'll also be required to provide some identification when you go in to these establishments as well. And by all accounts, it's been going fairly smoothly. Of course, you've seen big crowds at places like Blue Jays games as we were down to the end of the season where 30,000 fans were in attendance. They, of course, had to be double vaxxed and provide that proof of vaccination. Our junior hockey teams are all up and running again, and our young people are back playing organized sports again. You are required, though, to show that proof of vaccination when you head into those facilities. So make sure you get out there, take advantage of the vaccination clinics that are available in the community, print off your proof of vaccination, and you can get entrance into all of those buildings that you otherwise might not be able to. One of the themes as well, in spite of the fact that we've spent an awful lot of money on ensuring people's health and safety, is that in order to get us back to a balanced budget, we're not going to have any painful tax hikes, and there won't be spending cuts to programming as well as a result of that. We intend to grow the economy, and we'll continue to lay out that plan a little bit later on when we bring in our fall economic statement on how we can grow the economy, tackle our deficit without those tax hikes or spending cuts to programming that's so vitally important, particularly at this time. Some other items that were big over the last little while, particularly for Bay of Quinte, we did tackle the working capital deficit situation at Quinte Healthcare. I was very pleased to inform the board at Quinte Healthcare, which operates 4 hospitals, 3 of them in my riding in the Bay of Quinte region at Trenton, Belleville, and Prince Edward County, but also the North Hastings Hospital up in MPP Darrell Cramp's riding in Bancroft. We've eliminated their working capital deficit, which gives them financial certainty going forward. That was an $8.8 million investment that came from the Ministry of Health. And so now our board of directors at Quinte Healthcare and the administration there have a clean slate. Not only have we increased funding to small and medium-sized hospitals, giving them the certainty that they need when it comes to hiring health human resources like our nurses and personal support workers and other hospital workers. They won't have to worry about that deficit hanging over their head. We've eliminated that. We also had Minister Christine Elliott, the health minister in town, announcing Ontario health teams for Hastings and Prince Edward. So it's a big team. It's going to be headed up by Sheila Bradick. She's the executive director at the Community Health Center in Belleville and Quinte West. And of course, we're building that brand new $14 million facility right next to Trenton Memorial Hospital in Quinte West. And they're currently operating out of the Belleville facility at the corner of Sydney and Bridge Streets in Belleville. She'll be the lead on the Ontario Health team, along with Mayo Hako, who is the executive director at Gateway Community Health Center, and that's up in Tweed, and that's where we made the announcement. And a lot of individuals who work in health, like Stacey Daub, who's the head and CEO of Quinte Healthcare, addictions and mental health, so many different organizations that are involved in poverty and homelessness as well, and making sure that we're eliminating that. They'll be sitting around the table at our Ontario Health team doing the planning for healthcare investments in our region. So a very, very big development. I was really pleased as well last week to be able to attend the grand opening of Hospice Quinte, our brand new 6-bed residential hospice, which is on Old Highway 2 in between Trenton and Belleville in Bayside. And it is a stunning, beautiful location that's going to provide end-of-life care to families who need that so desperately. The province contributed $1.2 million into that new build there. But on Wednesday, when we had the official opening last week, I was also pleased to announce a 34% increase in the operational funding for Hospice Quinte, which is really important, providing a great service to families at a terrible time in their lives, but an important time in their lives as well. We had the Minister of Transportation, Caroline Mulroney, in the riding recently as well. She was in town taking a look at a couple of key priorities for Prince Edward County and for Belleville as well. We went on a bus ride with one of the new city buses with Mayor Panchuk and councillors Millette and Sandison were also on board the bus that day. We took a trip out to the industrial park, the Northeast Industrial Park, and saw where the expansion is planned for the industrial park, and the city is proposing a new interchange as well on the eastern side of Belleville off the 401 that would take that truck traffic off Canifton Road and Highway 37 and have those big trucks entering into the industrial park from a new interchange. So that's something we wanted to put on Minister Mulroney's plate. As well, we took a trip up by the new fairgrounds, or the new Belleville Agricultural Society, which is north of the 401. There's some need there for some alterations for an entryway into the new Agricultural Society site, which has been cleared and is going to be great for future Quinte exhibitions and other agricultural shows that they're planning there. And also made a quick trip down to Prince Edward County on County Road 49, one of the worst roads in Ontario every year in the CAA results. And it was a bumpy ride. I made sure I took Minister Mulroney in my Jeep just so she could experience how rough a ride it actually was on County Road 49. And hopefully we can get some funding to repair that stretch of highway. And also a very dangerous intersection at Schoharie Road, or County Road 1 as it's known, and Highway 62. And looking at possibly installing a new traffic circle there, which would calm the traffic in that area, because there have been some serious accidents in that vicinity over the last number of years. So those are just a couple of the things that we've been working on. Obviously, a new session of Parliament beginning at Queen's Park, so lots of exciting things will be happening at the Ontario Legislature. Remember, make sure that if you haven't done so, get out, get your COVID-19 vaccination. There's all kinds of opportunities to do that with public health. And in the meantime, just continue to follow the public health measures that are in place. We're trying everything we can to ensure that we don't have to go into a lockdown like many other jurisdictions around the world are currently doing in the battle against COVID-19. We'll talk to you in a week's time. In the meantime, I'm your MPP for the Bay of Quinte, Todd Smith, saying so long.